Mega Evolutions is an era I'm going to mostly avoid for the next coming years. I'm honestly just not going to look at it. I'm just going to be focusing on Scarlet and Violet. Today, I'll be explaining why and why I think Mega Evolutions has a very, very dark future ahead. It's not just I'm investing in Scarlet and Violet, it's genuinely, I believe, Mega Evolutions in the next coming years is really going to test a lot of people holding it because I feel like it's going to get pretty grim. So let's talk about it in this video. Alright, so this has everything to do with Pokemon items selling out. So when Pokemon items sell out, you have two choices. You either try to get at MSRP, put in all this effort, put in all this time, and even so, it's going to be jacked up MSRP, or you can just buy at the secondary market. Both work. But the problem is it only works if Pokemon can't print enough of it. If Pokemon can print enough of it, you realistically get cooked because even buying at MSRP, it doesn't protect you. I mean, back in the day, Battle Styles booster boxes were $80, Paleo Evolved was like $95, Fusion Strike was like $100, so even MSRP wasn't protected. So all of us mutually right now, if Mega Evolutions or Phantasmal Flames or the new sets go to MSRP, we're all down huge amounts on our money. So this is something that really, really concerns me with Mega Evolutions as an era. The reason why is because Pokemon are slowly but surely getting their act together. With Prismatic Evolutions, I feel like this set is safe, and the reason why I feel like it's safe is just because it happened at the very, very start of this bull run. So in my opinion, I feel like Prismatic Evolutions has the lowest chance of going to retail or going under retail, right? But Mega Evolutions is really, really new. I think what has happened recently is people have become so used to paying $250 or $300 a booster box, where now they look at new sets and go, all right, well, Phantasmal Flames has a Charizard, I'm going to invest in it, which, I mean, I guess is fair enough. But then you look at Mega Evolutions and people go, all right, you know, Mega Evolutions, it's a $250 booster box, all right, I'm going to buy it. But every single set that you buy, you open yourself to more and more risk that that set goes to MSRP or goes below MSRP. I want to be clear. The bottom of these sets will not be MSRP. It will be below MSRP. Now, it may not be Phantasmal Flames. It might not be base set. I don't want to be fear-mongering and I don't want to scare you in any way, but I just want you to know that with Mega Dream and all these other mega sets that come out, there's a good chance that a couple of them 1 year or 1.5 years into their life cycle, Pokemon get their act together, they've gotten more facilities, the demand has cooled off a bit, and then it goes to MSRP. But no, it doesn't just stop there, it goes below MSRP. And here's the thing, every single new set that comes out, if you're buying these new sets, you're opening yourself up to that risk. Now, the best way to fight against this is by buying at MSRP. So if you are buying at MSRP, you're doing good, but you're still at risk. Like, I don't want to beat around the bush. You're still at risk because you look at sets and, you know, they've been $100 for a booster box when MSRP is like $150. And that's Pokemon Center MSRP. Dude, you go to other shops and maybe they'll charge like $175 or $180 because like they can get away with it. Like in Australia, you can't get booster boxes under $200. $200 USD is the MSRP here. Like that is the lowest it is. It is $200. So you've got to think to yourself, if demand drops off, if Pokemon catch up to demand, then $200, that's not going to sell out anymore. $180 isn't going to sell out. $150 isn't going to sell out. $100 will sell out. Now, I don't know when this will happen. I realistically don't. None of us know when it will happen. We can use all these different calculations like Champion's Path took this long to go to MSRP or Shining Fates took this long to go to MSRP. But realistically, we don't know. This doesn't happen enough times where we can look at the past, and also the world is always in different scenarios, so every single scenario can be different, so we can't really accurately predict when Pokemon will go back in stock, and more importantly, like the market price will be like 60 or 70% of the MSRP. So we can't actually predict when that'll happen, but what we do know is it will happen eventually. I just want to be clear, that will happen eventually. Every single new set that comes out, no one's getting it for $100 a booster box. At best, you get a couple for $150. But most people I know who have large positions, they're buying it at the secondary market price. And their logic is this. Their logic is that the set is so good, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter that it is going to be $250 USD or $300. Like, they don't care. But the thing is that every single set that comes out, it may not be Mega Dream, it may not be Mega Emerald. It could be like the third last set of the Mega Evolution era, and then that set maybe on release it sells out, but then Pokemon do a couple reprints and then it catches up to demand. So what set is the least likely to fall prey to this? It's pretty much Prismatic Evolutions. Well, Prismatic Evolutions and Surging Sparks, if I'm being honest. Surging Sparks just reached its 1 year anniversary, which is really, really cool. Now, Surging Sparks and like Prismatic Evolutions, they go out of rotation in 2027. I think March of 2027 or April of 2027. It's whatever month, but it's around that range. They go out of rotation. So basically, you pretty much just need to hold on until then. If by some miracle Pokemon get their act together, GG's well played. However, it's not entirely GG's well played. Now, I just want to be clear. We're in November of 2025. Let's just say it's 2026. Realistically, all you need to do is hold on for like about 16 more months and then you'll be chill if you're holding like Surging Sparks or Prismatic Evolutions. I don't think Prismatic Evolutions will go back to MSRP, and the reason why is it's so embedded that if you see Prismatic Evolutions, you buy it, versus new sets where, I don't know, like Pokemon can make it worse on purpose, like Phantasmal Flames, right? Like Phantasmal Flames could be the first set that's like more accessible. Like, I just want to be clear, I am in Australia and I get notifications online of different stores that restock. So I get to gauge like how fast something sells out. Like when there's surprise boxes at like a certain Kmart or a certain EB game, like at a certain Kmart or Toy World, then I can see, all right, well, that sold out within 30 minutes. Holy moly. But this Kmart has, some people have pinged that it has Mega Evolution blisters and Phantasmal Flames blisters. They've pinged it for like multiple days on end. It's like, okay, all right. Does this not raise alarm bells that you can buy Phantasmal Flames just at Kmart? Like, obviously it's not gonna be every Kmart, and like maybe they have to put some on shelves, but the point is that it's way more available than Prismatic Evolutions. So I don't think that Prismatic Evolutions will go back in stock. However, Destined Rivals, Mega Evolutions, Phantasmal Flames, like Mega Dream, Black Bolt, White Flare, even though Black Bolt, White Flare are pretty much retail anyways, like the ETBs are like $70 or $75, which is pretty much retail. Okay, so these sets are all prone to going back in stock. Now, Destined Rivals I think is not that likely as well, just for the sole reason that it is really high quality and it's regarded as the best set of the era, like the main booster box. So it does also have like that privilege. There's like almost like a premium on the best booster box where, like, it's the same thing with Evolving Skies, right? Like, Evolving Skies was $300 a booster box while it was in rotation. So, like, if it's a really good set, it kind of does get a pass, but it has to be, like, top tier. So then when we get to the Mega Evolution era, you're just putting yourself in a lot of risk. Now, the biggest solution to this, and I just want to be clear, I don't want to be fear-mongering, but Phantasmal Flames, so preferably don't slander me in the comments, but Phantasmal Flames does have a pretty good chance of going back in stock in the next 2 years. Like, when does it go out of rotation? Like, is it 2028? I think it's 2028 when it goes out of rotation. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. I believe it's 2028. Dude, that's like 3 years from now. Well, okay, 2 years, because 2025 is pretty much over. That's like 2 years from now. That's a pretty big deal, man. Like, do you really think for the next couple years Pokemon is still not going to get their act together? Maybe there's like a couple exclusive events. Maybe like 30th anniversary. But dude, even 30th anniversary wasn't this high over MSRP that Phantasmal Flames is. So, yeah, that's the thing that's kind of concerning me, is that Destined Rivals, I know it's quite far away, but like, let's just jump the gun a bit. In May of next year, which is about 6 months away, it will be a year old. 2027, I want to say? I think 2027. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. I believe 2027 is when Destined Rivals goes out of rotation. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's 2027. Yeah, okay, well, it has a pretty fair chance of staying out of stock the whole time. But then if you get to Mega Dream, and then you get to Mega Emerald, and it's like, dude, we're pushing it, man. And it's like, dude, Mega Dream, right? I'm not saying it's a bad set. It looks like a phenomenal set, don't get me wrong. But it doesn't look like that kind of set that's like Evolving Skies level. Like, of course we haven't seen the whole thing, but that's my concern with Mega Evolutions, is that the problem is, it's not that they're not worth investing in, But people have gotten so used to investing in boxes when they're $250 that they've almost like forgotten that Pokemon will get back to MSRP. Like, okay, I know it's been so long that things have been out of stock, but Pokemon boxes will go to MSRP eventually. And you've got to think, once again, I really don't want to be fear mongering, but if you bought Phantasmal Flames booster boxes for $300 and they go to $100, if you bought a case for $2,000, let's just say, I think that's about the price because like you've also got like a $200 case premium. If you bought it for $2,000 and it goes to like $100 a booster box, first of all, there's no case premium if it's in stock, so that case premium goes away. For the record, case premiums only apply years after the set is like finished. If the set is in rotation and you can just order it on a distribution website, it's not really how it works. Like, yeah, so that case is going to be $600. And this is where you really have to second guess and go, oh, yikes. You really think... So, Surging Sparks sold out November last year. So it's officially been 1 year since the latest set hasn't been attainable at retail. Okay? So it's been a year. Phantasmal Flames is going to go out of rotation like 2028 or 2020. No, it's not going to be 2027. Well, it might. No, I don't think it will. I'm pretty sure it's 2028. Say it goes out of rotation 2028. Like, someone correct me if I'm wrong. Say I think it's 2028. So you're telling me that you're going to have Pokemon out of stock for all of 2025, 2026, 2027, and 2028. 4 years. You really think Pokemon are not going to get their act together? It's just something to think about. It's just something to think about. It's just something to think about. Now, if you want to be like a 4D chess player and just like really outplay the market, which is 150 on a Paladin Fates, and that's the next part of this video, which is if you want to protect yourself, just buy sets that are out of rotation. Like Evolving Skies. You buy Evolving Skies, you don't have to worry about losing 1/3 of your money. If you keep buying booster boxes for $250/$300, you're eventually going to slice your money by 33%. Eventually. If you buy booster boxes for $300, it will be a $100 booster box. Maybe it's not Phantasmal Flames, maybe it's not Omega Dream, but it could be one of the future sets. But there will be a set that sells out on release, but then Pokemon get their act together and a lot of people lose a crap ton of money. Well, but if you're investing in Evolving Skies, if you're investing in Lost Origin, if you're investing in Fusion Strike, Paladin Fates 151, Paldea Evolved, you don't have to worry about this. And I think that's something that a lot of people have just become desensitized to. Like, in May or June, there was a lot of word being thrown around that the market would go back to normal. And now that it's been over a year and things are still out of stock, yeah, a lot of people have become used to it. People have gotten comfortable. And this is something I make pretty clear on my channel, is with Pokemon investing, you never get comfortable. You never ever get comfortable. You always have to stay on your toes. And the reason why is the second you get comfortable, you can lose a lot of money. That doesn't just immediately mean you lose a lot of money, but you can lose a lot of money. So if we translate that to this, there will be a very large herd of people who lose a lot of money by buying a set just out of nature. Like, Pokemon has been out of stock for 1.5 years. Like, let's just say in 6 months' time. Pokemon's been out of stock for 1.5 years. All right, well, this new set is no different. I'm going to buy it. Goes out of stock. Buys it for $250 a booster box. Whoa, what's that? It turns out Pokemon are really catching up to reprints. They've decided to go full force on Mega Evolutions, the era. And yeah, this set is now a $100 booster box. For the first time ever, I'm not down 10%, I'm not down 20%, I'm down 70%. And it's going to take years for it to go back to 250. Once it goes back to 250, people will be celebrating because they bought it at $100 a booster box. People will be celebrating like, oh my goodness, we're all up, guys. We're all doing so good. But then there's going to be that group of people and they're not all good because they bought it at 250 and they got caught out. I do not want to prone myself to that. I do not want to open myself to that. I don't want to expose myself to that. I'm happy in my little corner investing in Scarlet and Violet. I'm happy in my little corner just chilling, buying Dice and Rails, buying 151, buying Paladin Fates, and just chilling. I don't have a problem with that. When you invest in sets that sell out every single time, whether it's good or bad, raises alarm bells. Because eventually, we'll have a set where it's really expensive, people realize it's not as good as people actually label it as, it'll go down, and people will feel their first taste of losing a lot of money in this industry. And I think it is going to be Phantasmal Flames. I think Phantasmal Flames is going to be that set where the booster box really goes down like the low 200s and people lose like 30% of their money. And it's not necessarily like, I'm holding for the long term, so it's all good. Okay, in theory, yeah, sure it is. But you've got to think about your opportunity cost. Yes, will you make money in the long term? Absolutely. See, we're not investing in meme coins. We're not investing in penny stocks. We all do have a happy ending, right? Does eventually go up, you learn from your mistakes, and happy days. But you can just skip the fast lane, and you can just invest in something slightly older, right? Paldea Revolt, it's a $400 booster box. Doesn't have that much of a premium over Phantasmal Flames. It's a 25% premium. So you mean to tell me you pay 25% more, yet the benefit is you get to buy a set that is near guaranteed to never go back to retail, is going to go out of rotation soon, meaning it's only up from here. Like, you got to think Phantasmal Flames, right? If you bought Phantasmal Flames for, let's just say you bought 4 for $300 each. So you pay $1,200 in total. Okay, so let's just say you did that, and I buy 3 Paldea Revolt booster boxes for $400 each. So I have 3 booster boxes, you have 4. In 2 years' time, who do you think is going to have more value? And I think by asking that question, it's a good eye-opener. We think, you know what? Phantasmal Flames might be a good set. Like, it is. It's a good set. It has a good Charizard, decent cards. But how investable is it? More importantly, how investable is it now? There's a good chance in 2 years' time I'm going to own some Phantasmal Flames. People are absolutely right. They're not incorrect at all. It will be a good investment long term. The Charizard will go up. Yeah, absolutely. In 2 years' time, in 3 years' time. Now, it's in the collector's game now. It's in rotation. It's getting preprints. It started off at $300. It's not like it was $100 and now it's $300. No, it started off at $300. The upside from here is very little for the next couple of years. So you got to think, in 2 years' time, my Paldea Revolt booster boxes have been out of rotation for 1.5 years, okay? Because Paldea Revolt goes out of rotation in about half a year. So my boxes have been out of rotation for about 1.5 years. What happened to Fusion Strike when that went out of rotation? What happened after the 1.5 years after that? What about Lost Origin? What about Stellar Tempest? What happens when sets go out of rotation and a good amount of time has passed? Like 500 days have passed. It's no longer a $400 booster box. It's a $600 booster box, a $700 booster box, an $800 booster box. Is it ridiculous to say we could see Paldea Evolved hit 500, 600, 700 by 2 years from now? I mean, in 2 years from now, Paldea Evolved could sure as heck be $500 or $600. Like, okay, we can at least agree it's going to be $500, right? Which would make my 3 booster boxes worth $1,500. Do you really think your 4 Phantasmal Flames booster boxes are going to equal to $1,500, which equals to $375 each? So you're telling me that a set with an immense amount of anticipation, a lot of people have immediately flipped, saying that it's a terrible set when that was crazy to say a week ago, but now a lot of people have flipped. Do you really think that set that started off being $300 is now going to go to $375 in 2 years' time? It's still in rotation. Slowly but surely, Pokemon are getting their act together. I mean, do I need to say any more? Am I going to buy Mega Dream? No. Am I going to buy Mega Emerald? No. Am I going to miss out on a couple? Are a couple going to do phenomenal gains? I'm going to miss out on them? Absolutely. But that brings my risk nice and low. And that's where I think having a nice risk to reward ratio is good, right? Like, I'm aware and I'm at peace that Mega Emerald ETBs are going to do really well, or there's going to be a box topper for Mega Storm, and it's going to be a low punny SIR that everybody loves. Okay, yeah, sure, I'm going to be at peace that I'm going to miss out on those. However, in return, I almost get protection, right? So I'm investing in Prismatic, which has a risk of going back to stock, like going back to retail. But out of all the sets from Surging Sparks onwards, it has the least risk. So I'm investing in something which is the most popular set we've had in a good while, pretty much the most ripped set we've had in a good while. It sells out the quickest whenever stores restock its items, and yet it also is the lowest risk, is likely going to be the highest reward. Do I need to say any more? If Phantasmal Flames could show me the meaning of life and the Charizard brings you 200% happiness whenever you look at the card, okay, yeah, sure, I'll invest in it. It's just another set. Just like Mega Evolutions. Just like Mega Dream. It's just another set. And I don't mean that in a way to put it down, but what I mean is it's not worth the huge amounts of risk, right? Like, Destined Rivals is worth the risk. Prismatic is worth the risk. They were released quite early on in this whole craze, meaning that they had the lowest chance of going back to retail. So you got that, but then they're also phenomenal sets. So it's like, it's so worth it. You look at that, and then you go, hold up. So we can all agree Mega Evolutions base is not as good as Prismatic. We can all agree Phantasmal Flames is not as good as Prismatic. We can all agree that most likely Mega Dream, I mean, maybe it becomes an amazing set. Realistically, we don't know. But most likely, it's not going to be as good as Prismatic. Okay, so then why am I buying these new sets? Like, what's the point if they're not as good, they're newer, you're putting yourself at risk, right? So, yeah, that's all I've got to say for today's video. Mega Evolutions, I'll come back when it's MSRP. I do believe these boxes will be MSRP. Maybe not base set, maybe not Phantasmal Flames. I don't know which ones, but one of them will, and that will catch a lot of people off guard. And then it'll take many, many years of it being dead in the water for it to eventually go back to the price that a whole horde of people would have paid for it, and those people will just break even after years of holding it. Whereas you're going to have someone like me investing in Prismatic Evolutions and Evolving Skies, and maybe it's not as flashy, maybe it's not as exciting because it's the newest set. You know, 151, it's a bit stale, it's a bit boring, nothing new is going on, there's no God packs, well, technically ours demigod packs, but there's no God packs, there's no crazy SIR that's going to break the internet, but it shows up every day, it puts in the work, and it's soon going to retire. And hey, once it's retired, it's only up from there. So yeah, that's going to do for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching.